I said, the Pennsylvania Crimes Code. That's every other piece of the law that deals with speeding and theft, but there's also a special section just for animal cruelty. That talks about things like shelter, like I mentioned earlier. If your animal lives outside, you have to have a shelter for it. That's one of the laws. Other things are food and water. You have to provide for your animal daily. Some animals, like snakes, don't have to have food every day, but you still have to care for them. You still have to provide them like a heat rock and water, things like that. But other animals do need daily care. Horses need hay, horses need water, cats and dogs need food and water. So there's a lot of parts of the law that says what you have to do as an animal owner. There's also parts of the law that talk about the condition of the dog and the condition of the area that it's living in. So for example, when your dog goes to the bathroom, you have to make sure that that area is cleaned up. So when you walk your dog, you should carry bags, so especially if you're walking in a public area. You don't want your animal waste to be somewhere that it shouldn't be, but also in your own yard. Just because your animal goes outside to use the bathroom, you should also go out and clean it up. So it is a health risk, but it's also a law here in Pennsylvania.
So whenever we were seeing Cody earlier, could you talk a little bit about what laws in particular Cody's owner was violating?
Sure. Like I said, Cody did come to us because he was abandoned. That's one of the specific parts of the law. So if you took your animal somewhere and left it, so let's say that you heard a story about someone taking their animal to the park and just opening up the door and let it go. Well, that's called abandonment. That is one of the severe crimes in Pennsylvania that can get you, it will get you in court, but it can give you anything from a fine to jail time. Cody's was a little different because he was abandoned inside of where he lived. So his owner decided that because it was so bad and it was so unsanitary, that he needed to just get up and move out. So he left him there. Luckily, someone in the neighborhood told us about it. They called us and gave us some information and asked us to go check on Cody. And again, through my investigation, I did find out that there was a lot of parts of the law that his owner wasn't doing right. So Cody didn't have food and water for several days that we can tell. He was abandoned in the house, which means that the owner wasn't coming back and caring for him. And he also needed vet care. Cody had a rash that affected his eyes and part of his skin. So luckily, once we got him back here to Animal Friends, we were able to have our vets take care of Cody, and all of his conditions have cleared up. So there are a lot of rules if you want to be an animal owner. It's just like driving a car. You have to know the laws before you're just allowed to go out and do it.
Whenever you rescued Cody, we have some photos of that, and we're going to see if we're going to be able to get those up on the screen. But can you talk briefly about the warrant that you needed?
Sure. One of the things, just as a police officer, I specialize in the animal cruelty section. I couldn't just go into Cody's house where he was. I needed to get what's called probable cause, and then I had to get a warrant. And what a warrant is it's basically a piece of paper that I have to put all of my information on to explain to a judge why I feel that there's a law being broken and there's an animal at risk. So once that warrant gets signed by the judge agrees that there is enough probable cause, there's enough evidence, and that he believes that Cody is not being cared for. That warrant allows me to go into the house, whether someone's there or not. So sometimes you'll see on TV shows, they talk about warrants, and that's exactly what it is. It's getting that official signed piece of paper from the document to allow you to do that.